On February 26th, two blasts rocked an airfield in pro-Putin Belarus, damaging one of the most precious Russian weapons. One of only 9 A-50 planes that can identify the locations of Ukrainian air defense units. Basically, it was a radar plane that Russia cannot produce anymore. Or repair, actually. Belarusian guerrilla fighters claimed responsibility. On Monday night, at least 4 drones fell short of reaching a power station in the western Russian city of Belgorod that sits less than 40 kilometers, that's 25 miles, from the border. And on Tuesday, an unidentified flying object was spotted over St. Petersburg, where Putin was born. Airspace over Russia's second largest city that lies almost 1,500 kilometers, that's 930 miles, north of Ukraine was briefly closed, and fighter jets took off as part of the rehearsal. Drills. I mean, yeah, right. The official, clearly made-up reason brought out was to train for interception and identification of a conditional target. The same day, at least one drone carrying explosives fell some 100 kilometers southeast of Moscow. Hours earlier, unidentified flying objects reportedly crashed near an oil refinery and a farm in southwestern Russia, more than 800 kilometers from the nearest Ukrainian military installations in Odessa. And these are just some examples. Nikolai Mitrokhin has speculated that most likely the attacks involved a remodeled Soviet-designed Tu-141 jet drone. It's basically a Soviet cruise missile that was produced in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. He also speculates that it was used to attack the Tuapse oil refinery on Tuesday. Russian media claimed that the other attacks were carried out by Russian-made Granat 4 drones, Chinese civilian drones loaded with UK-made plastic explosives, or the UJ-22 unmanned aircraft made in Ukraine. These are the other Ukrainian-made drones that have made it to the news lately. The UJ-22 incident near Moscow has certainly raised some eyebrows. The UJ-22 looks like a smaller version of World War II fighter jets and were made public in 2021. They are produced in a Ukrainian company, Ukrjet. They can carry bombs or jet-propelled anti-tank grenades and fly up to 800 kilometers, 500 miles. The production of brand new Ukrainian-made drones is not centralized, and Russia will hardly be able to destroy the manufacturer with pinpoint attacks. There isn't a large holding or plant that has monopoly on drones in Ukraine, so Russia's chances of hitting the industrial premises are very doubtful. But even so, while Ukraine has the technical expertise, its manufacturing capacity has certainly been affected by war. A substantial percentage of factories have still been damaged by bombing. Furthermore, any large-scale assembly line would be eye-catching and invite Russian missiles. But the initiative of Ukraine to produce their own military drones is nothing new. It all started after the beginning of the conflict in Crimea. Although Makarenko describes the attempts at producing its own military drones at that time as complicated due to the limitations of bureaucracy and corruption. Private charities began purchasing, developing, fielding and improving their own drones in the early days of 2014, while Ukraine's defense industrial conglomerate did not develop its own drones until 2016. As Russian electronic warfare systems began adapting to Ukrainian drones and downing them, it was the variety of commercial and hobbyist drones that allowed for rapid counter-adaptations to be made. These included improved optics, improved flight time, and the ability to resist Russian jamming, even as million-dollar drones gifted by the US government fell prey to the very same jamming. After the fighting started in eastern Ukraine in 2014, a group of veterans launched the drone-making company UA Dynamics. Bulatsev, an engineer in UA Dynamics, told the outlet that the game-changing Punisher drones had completed up to 60 successful missions since the Russian invasion began. Punisher, illustrated by a rebel name, is a high-precision alternative to a long-range artillery or missile weapons for the destruction of enemies' targets at distance of 25 to 45 kilometers. The electric drones have a 7.5-foot wingspan and can fly for hours at 1,300 feet and need only the coordinates of their target so they can carry out their mission automatically. The complex allows destroying targets from the first shot. It has a predicted localization of impact. Due to its characteristics, it minimizes the risk of possible losses among citizens. The drone is relatively small and light and is undetectable by radars. What's more, it can drop 3 bombs at a time or hit 3 separate targets, then return to the base to be reloaded and sent back into the battle within minutes. Once aloft, the Punisher relies on the accompanying Spectre drone that performs investigation work and identifies Russian targets to be struck. Once supplied with the designated coordinates, the Punisher lets fly with a single shot of its payload or in 3 smaller charges fired on different objectives. The same company that makes the Punisher drone does a bit of innovative marketing that earns some money too. It allows people to pay about $30 to send a written message on the bomb it drops. The scheme taps into people's anger at Russia, said the founder of the company, Yevhen Pulatsev. They also donate drones to the military. Among the more popular messages, he said, are the names of killed friends, hometowns lost to occupation, or people's own names, along with a note saying, "Hello from me." Hello from Artur. A lot of people want to express hard feelings, so he believes it's quite a good thing. It helps people psychologically. One of the larger workshops in Kiev, called Dronarnia, that's a good name, takes orders online from military officers seeking customized drones, some large enough to drop 18-pound bombs. The group is financed by crowdsourced donations. Ukraine has adapted a wide array of small craft ranging from quadrocopters with 4 rotors to mid-sized fixed-wing drones, using them to drop bombs and spot artillery targets. It's part of a flourishing corner of innovation by Ukraine's military, which has seized on drone warfare to counter Russia's advantage in artillery and tanks. Makeshift workshops experiment with 3D printed materials, and Ukrainian coders have made workarounds for electronic countermeasures the Russians use to track radio signals. Small adaptations to tactics, designs of the explosives, flight patterns and launch and retrieve have all increased in the past 5 months, according to a commander in an Azov unit that flies drones. There's a boom in experimentation, said the commander, who uses the nickname Botsman. With the risk of drones buzzing over the positions at any time, he said, the Russian soldiers cannot eat, cannot sleep. The stress leads them to make mistakes. It's well known that Ukraine is developing longer-range combat drones. In fact, in October 2022, Facebook post from the state-owned weapons company Ukroboronprom revealed the manufacturer was putting the finishing touches on a drone with a range of 621 miles. Wow, wow, wee. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is a lot of miles. A later post in late November included a photo of an alleged drone with the words "Azvazdam," I will repay, painted on it. In January, they said they had completed several stages of testing a long-range drone. It is speculated that the drone in development is an unmanned aerial vehicle with a range of more than 1,000 kilometers and a payload, drumroll, a payload of 75 kilograms. Bada beam, bada boom, kaboom. There will be some changes, though, on how the drones could be used regarding their blackouts, since SpaceX has restricted Ukraine's use of Starlink to control the drones. That's a shame. In a recent interview, the Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, said that the situation regarding drones will change drastically in February or March. Fedorov said his team is now dedicating 70% of its time to military technologies. The ministry was created only 3 years ago. Providing the army with drones is among its main tasks now. He said that progress does not wait, and they need to do more than what is expected of them. My friends, thank you for coming back time and time again and supporting this channel. If you like my videos, then subscribe to the channel and become a Patreon. The link is in the description below. And I will now read you 5 venerable Patreon names who are tier 10 and above and who have supported this channel. I'll butcher them with my Estonian pronunciation, so your ears will bleed. David Flanneri, Erik Ervin, Carles Grainger, Hug Harris, Morris A. Hickok. Thank you to these 5 patrons. I can rely on patrons when YouTube revenue goes down or if the videos get demonetized. That sometimes happens because I'm a military channel, it's obvious. So thank you, my friends, and until my next video, Slava Ukraini.